Adolphe-Édouard Casimir Joseph Mortier, first Duc de Trévise, was a French general and Marshal of France under Napoleon I. He was one of 18 people killed in 1835 during Giuseppe Marco Fieschi's assassination attempt on King Louis-Philippe I. Biography. Mortier was born at Le Cateau Cambrésis on 13 February 1768, son of Charles Mortier and wife Marie-Anne-Joseph Bonnet, and entered the army as a sub-lieutenant in 1791. Revolutionary and Napoleonic Wars. He served in the French Revolutionary Wars in the campaigns of 1792 and 1793 on the northeastern frontier and in the Netherlands, and subsequently on the Meuse and the Rhine. Mortier was tasked by Hatry to negotiate the surrender of the fortress of Mainz, which he completed successfully and then returned to Paris. In the war against the Second Coalition in 1799, he was promoted successively General of Brigade and General of Division. During the Second Battle of Zurich, he led a force of 8,000 in the attack from Dieppe to Caen on Zurich. His conduct of the French occupation of Hanover, bringing about the Convention of Artlenburg, led Napoleon to include Mortier in the first list of marshals created in 1804. He commanded a corps of the Grande Armée Écoutée in the Ulm campaign, in which he distinguished himself. In the campaign of the Middle Danube, which culminated in the Battle of Austerlitz, Napoleon placed him in command of a newly formed 8th Corps, composed of divisions from the other corps. Mortier overextended his line of march on the north shore of the Danube and failed to heed Napoleon's advice to protect his north flank. A combined force of Russians and Austrians, under overall command of Mikhail Kutuzov, enticed Mortier to send Théodore Maxime Gazan's 2nd Division into a trap, and French troops were caught in a valley between two Russian columns. They were rescued by the timely arrival of a 2nd Division, under command of Pierre Dupont de l'Oretang's 1st Division, which covered a day's march in a half-day. The Battle of Durenstein extended well into the night. Both sides claimed victory. The French lost more than a third of the participants, and Gazan's division experienced over 40% losses. The Austrians and Russians also had heavy losses, close to 16%. After Austerlitz, Napoleon dispersed the corps and Gazan received the Legion of Honor, but Mortier was simply reassigned. In 1806, Mortier was again in Hanover and northwestern Germany. In 1807 he served with the Grande Armée Écoutée in the Friedland campaign, in the siege of Stralsund, and in the siege of Kolberg. In 1808, Napoleon created him Duke of Treviso, a duchy grand fief in his own Kingdom of Italy, and shortly after he commanded an army corps in Napoleon's campaign for the recapture of Madrid. Mortier remained in Spain for 2 campaigns, winning the victory of Acana in November 1809. In 1812 and 1813 he commanded the Imperial Guard, and in the defensive campaign of 1814 he rendered brilliant services in command of rear guards and covering detachments. In 1815, after the flight of Bourbon King Louis XVIII of France, he rejoined Napoleon during the Cent-Gers and was given command of the Imperial Guard. But at the opening of the Battle of Waterloo he was unable to continue due to severe sciatica. Post-war career. After the Second Bourbon Restoration, he was for a time in disgrace. But in 1819 he was readmitted to the Chamber of Peers and in 1825 received the Order of the Holy Spirit, the kingdom's highest. In 1830 to 1831 he was Ambassador of France to Russia at St. Petersburg, and in 1834 to 1835 Minister of War and President of the Council of Ministers. Death. On 28 July 1835, Mortier was one of those accompanying King Louis-Philippe of France to a review of the Paris National Guard, an annual event that commemorated the July Revolution that brought Louis-Philippe to power in 1830. In the Boulevard du Temple, the royal party was hit by a volley of gunfire from the upstairs window of the house. 18 were killed, including Mortier, and 22 injured. The king received a minor wound. The weapon used was a homemade volley gun, constructed and fired by Giuseppe Marco Fieschi for the purpose of assassinating Louis Philippe. Fieschi had fixed 25 musket barrels to a wooden frame, and arranged that they could be fired simultaneously. 4 of the barrels burst when fired and Fieschi was badly wounded. He was quickly captured and later tried with 2 co-conspirators. The 3 went to the guillotine in February 1836. Family. Mortier married Ivan Himis, by whom he had issue. Caroline Mortier de Trevise, Marquis of Rumeny. Sophie Malvina Josephine Mortier de Trevise. Napoleon Mortier de Trevise, 2nd Duc of Trévise. Édouard Louis Yves Stéphanie Mortier de Trevise, Countess Cudon.